Well, hello, my Taurus collective sun, moon, rising signs. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this February 2020 full moon to new moon. Next, I am your reader, Mark Angela Lyons, president of Join the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and very, very happy to be serving another fellow earth sign. I'm a Virgo, Pisces moon, Leo rising, blah, 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 but always try to be there for my earth sign brothers and sisters, as it were. If you are new to my channel, please do like and subscribe, making my way to 1,000 subscribers so I can do super live chat. I promise to do a little thing, a little ditty called Drunk Tarot once a month for the first couple of months or so. There's a link in the description box below. Go check it out. You'll see why. You'll probably want to subscribe because I'm fun. I'm the fun one, apparently. So that being said, let's get down to biz with this particular reading. For starters, this is a general read. Please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and go check your other signs. That's why I always do at least sun, moon, rising signs when I do a zodiacal series, but we'll add obviously Venus for the soulmate relationship based stuff. I'm going to be doing something for Mercury retrograde, so check where your Mercury sign is. Usually it's not that far away from Venus, but you know, things move in retrograde, whatever. So yeah, you can't please all the people all the time. Take the percentage of clarity that comes through. I am a mystical reader. I'm working with different pantheons of divine energy. They all have their say. My job is to translate, essentially, which then is a good transition into what the What Do I Need reads are. What Do I Need read is going to the divine through a system of divination and asking really clearly from the point of view of a soul incarnate, right, a soul in a body, kind of saying, all right, I get that. I don't really ultimately know what's going on in the grand scheme of things, the quantum field, the divine plan, whatever you want to call it. So what do I need, right? You could pull a card a day for that, right? An oracle, a rune. What do I need? Instead of that thing of show me my card for the day, show me what I need. It's a bit more proactive in the sense you're going to the divine. It does take some humility. And that's why actually the numbers have been low on the What Do I Need reads. So I've been talking to my guides and they were like, no, they're really helpful. They're really helpful. The people who watch them get good stuff out of it. And then was the clincher. They say, when you do a reading for yourself, what do you do? I'm like, I ask you what I need. And they're like, does it work for you? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'll keep doing it. So we're still here. Cool, cool, cool. That being said, I'm just going to ask you please to breathe. We're going to get the what you need guidance and grace from the angels, the goddesses, the gods, the ascended masters, and the higher selves of all involved, meaning your higher self as well. And then at the end, all of them together are going to give us one single message through a card. So 7 different decks, 1 card each. Let's have fun with this, if possible, for a waning moon, right? Just remember to breathe. The more we consciously breathe, the more we're in the present moment, the more the divine can work through us. Me, by giving the reading, you'll see me do still point. It's like ringing a silent bell. It's the best metaphor I have that just tunes me into the divine and whatever pantheon I'm working with. If you're doing the same on your end, regardless of time and space, you're going to be tuning to the same reading, one would think, and being able to feel it from the inside out. Cool, cool. So let's do this. Get in your body. Here we go. Earth signs unite. Nice deep breath. As we're going to start with the angels. All the decks that I read are in the description box below. Doreen Virtue's Healing with the Angels Oracle we begin with. So let's do just that. Still point, please. My angels. 1 card in clarity. For this Taurus collective sun, moon, rising sign, what do they need? This full moon in Leo to new moon next in Pisces, February 2020. We've got going from the 9th to the 23rd of February 2020 here, please. My angels. This is the card that's going to be in the title. So what is it that they need? Give us that celestial angelic point of view for what the Taurus collective sun, moon, rising needs this full moon. to new moon next. Let's have a look-see-dooksy. Oh, new beginnings, which is good then. Because then it's like, okay, from the full moon to the new moon, it is the waning, it's the dissolving. It's like clearing the plate for the new beginning to come in. That's pretty clear. It's pretty clean. Doesn't need too much exposition. The type of new beginning we can look at with other cards coming, perhaps. But remember, the angels might just say, you need a new beginning. Maybe there's one coming. Maybe there's one you need to create. But we'll see as we go through the different voices of the divine. Now, by the way, in case you are magically inclined or, you know, you do intention stuff with the full moon, yeah, the full moon in Leo is on the 9th, but it's at like 2:23 a.m. Eastern. So you might want to do your stuff Saturday night. Just saying, right? So if you want to catch the waxing side of it. Check an astrological calendar. I always have one every year. I get one so that I kind of get an idea of what's going on where for timing my own stuff. So yeah, I'll be casting Saturday night for sure. That being said, we're going to use the Daughters of the Moon Tarot to get you the voice of the divine feminine, meaning the goddess, meaning the goddesses, meaning half the universal energy, the divine yin, however you want to interpret that. More of the internal stuff that can't be seen but can be felt. Oh, that's a nice way of putting it. Nice deep breath. Oh, just feel your body from the inside. Really be in the body for this one. Be here now. Be with the breath. Still point. My goddesses, please. One card in clarity for this Taurus collective. Sun, moon, rising sign. What do they need this full moon to new moon next? February 2020. Please, divine feminine, for your Taurian children, sun, moon, rising, what do they need? February 2020, this new moon to full moon to new moon next. All right, we've got a zodiac card. We've got a court card, essentially. This is Libra, Skadi of the north wind. Very, very powerful Nordic goddess. We'll just leave that there. But interestingly enough for Libra, with a bow and arrow, though there are no scales necessary, the symbol, the card is written. It has written on it Libra. So we are looking at what you need is perhaps to take a look at your one-on-one partnerships, your marriages. And I just don't mean the, you know, holy matrimony, lover, husband, wife kind of stuff, but your partnerships. That's why, you know, even the legal system has the symbol of the scales there, party 1 and party 2. Well, that's in a way a marriage, a partnership, even if it's adversarial, right? Because how many of these get, how much of this is adversarial? Probably a bit. As well as it can be your relationship to yourself, right? It's very Venus-oriented. Libra is ruled by Venus. So the thing of loving yourself, dealing with your shadow self, right? Your light and your shadow, your alchemical balance. So relationships, we'll say that right now for the 7th house. I mean, as I tune to it there, because we're looking across a quantum collective here of Taurian sun, moon, rising. Yeah, for some of you it's parent-child, regardless of which side of the scales you're on. For other it is lovers, but it might just be new beginnings in relationships itself, or a new beginning of the relationship you have with yourself, which I think for a waning moon, far more useful, right? Particularly the yin. It's more about going inside yourself and, you know, talking to the inner child, letting those voices you hear them. The world may not need to hear them, but let them have their voice, so to speak. That's how we're kept in psychological balance, right? If you don't let that voice of anger, for example, have its say every now and again in a safe way, a safe outlet, well, it will pop out when you least expect it, right? Like when someone says the wrong thing by accident and like someone pulls the pin out of your grenade, right? It's just what happens. We build up and then boom. So all sorts of indications there, but with that new beginning for that waning moon, going through the waning moon before a new beginning, 3 days before new moon, is called dark moon, and it is the death part of the moon. It really is the stripping away, the burning away, the sweeping away of whatever needs to go before the birth of the new moon. So let's ask the divine masculine in terms of your yang, right? In terms of the god, the divine masculine POV on all of this. Nice deep breath, please. Still point. My gods, hi. One card in clarity, please, for the Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do they need for this full moon to new moon next? From Leo full moon to Pisces new. What do they need February 2020? Just one card in clarity. What do they need? What do you need? What do you need? The gods say you need 8 of Pentacles. You need to put your fucking head down and keep working. Right? You need to be plugging away at it, right? To be productive. Now, productive, this is yang. So I would say this is in terms of physical productivity, right? External world productivity, while you are perhaps finding that balance within yourself in the end. So regardless of this new beginning that may be coming, that the angels are sort of talking about, saying that you need, yes, you got to bring yourself into balance, that relationship with yourself, and probably relationships with other people, but it feels more one-on-one than group relationships here. But that there is work involved. It's like you need to work on this. You need to at least bring it into some kind of physical, productive process for yourself. I mean, the 8 is 2 coins away from the 10, so hang in there, right? And even the 9 of Pentacles is so delicious, right? It's like having your own, not quite at the 10, but like that, I almost want to say serenity, solidity, security, those kind of words. So you're almost there. The 8 of Pentacles, it's like keep going. Maybe this new beginning brings you those extra 2 coins to get you to a full 10 of Pentacles. We'll see next month, I guess, or in 2 weeks after the new beginning. We're going to move on to the Love Pack, which will be the voice of the Ascended Masters, as well as the next deck that we use. I'm putting them side by side to make it a little bit easier to correlate energetically. The Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, baby Love Pack, Love Baby, that's where it's at, has 4 suits. The problem suit, which is literally half the deck. The other 3 make up the other half. The suit of luck, the suit of healing, and the suit of grace. So let's have a look and see what's going on, what the masters have to say you need with all of that. Knowing that if it says a problem, it's like this is the problem you need to address most likely. So let's take a nice couple of deep breaths. Oh, the first one just for fun and oxygen. The second one to still point us. Still point. Oh, my Ascended Masters, there you are. Oh, that felt so good. Please, my Ascended Masters, you who've played the game and are passing on clues back through time and space. One card in clarity, please, for this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do they need this full moon to new moon next? February 2020, please. A look at the problem, a look at the luck, a look at the healing, or a look at the grace. Nah, we don't want that one. I don't like them when they jump out, unless they jump out right at the second I'm going to pull. Sorry. Please, my masters, one card in clarity for this Taurus collective, this full moon to new moon next. That felt much more solid. Okay. A problem suit. Like I said, half of the suit, half of the deck is the suit of problem. Revenge. Now look, we all have feelings of revenge, and there are many different ways that revenge manifests itself. People don't get that. They think that revenge is all about doing some sort of physical harm to someone else, but in a way, passive aggression is a form of revenge, right? Usually not the people who caused the wound or the anger in the first place, which is the odd part. It's just sort of this rolling miasma of negativity and revenge that comes out in these really passive ways. But one way that I've been seeing more and more and more as a spiritual teacher and doing spiritual counseling and readings, that people let go of once they even get a hint that they're doing it, is that they will harm themselves in some way, physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, as a form of revenge to show somebody else what they did, right? So in this card, the woman on top of the cliff is going to drop a fucking boulder on the man and the woman at the bottom of the cliff. I know, it's a little Wile E. Coyote. But do know that there is also that revenge that if we were to give it a voice, it would sound something like, oh, you're going to do that to me? Now watch what I do to myself. To make you feel bad, to make you feel guilty. It's toxic, but we all do it. And these patterns are going back centuries. Oh, that's kind. Millennia, right? The things that we needed to do for survival in this world for thousands of years are being boiled out of us by the high vibration. So you might want to look at revenge. Now, okay, coming from a group of masters over here, which is showing me probably more than 25% of you watching this, this might be revenge that you need to be aware of, because here you are balancing your relationships, moving towards a new beginning. Well, maybe there's some jealousy and some revenge vibe here going on, but you just keep working. You gotta keep working on yourself. Manifest your dream, even if it's taking 1 inch closer every day towards whatever it is this new beginning holds for you. It really does indicate that you're in the last dregs of something. You're almost there to the completion, so that you can begin again with the new beginnings the angels are talking about. Thankfully, with a card like revenge, this is why I put these two together. These the Ascended Masters are going to talk through this deck as well, which is the Healing Oracle. Sorry, the Healing deck. The Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. Let me not misnomer his deck. I love it so much. Really, one of my new favorite things. I just listened to a live stream that he did. He does the first, what is it, the first Thursday of the month. He does a live stream project resolution. It's free. Go sign up for it on his website. He's great. His YouTube channel is amazing too. I think when you find a brilliant spiritual teacher that speaks to your soul, you want to share it. It's what being a spiritual teacher is to me. You don't got to reinvent the fucking wheel every single day. I just do it with purple hair, nice jewelry, and a New York gay pagan sense of humor. It takes all kinds. Let's ask the Ascended Masters then for a healing mantra for you. Same Ascended Masters that gave us the card of revenge. They'll help us get you something to heal. Nice deep breath. Oh, that was nice. One more, please. Still point. My Ascended Masters, that was funny. I'm not saying that out loud. Please, one card in clarity for this Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do they need this full moon in Leo to new moon in Pisces, February 2020? What do they need? You gave them this revenge card. We talk about what the other pantheons are talking about, but you gave us that card of revenge. So please, what is the mantra that will help heal this if necessary? One would think it's a problem, right? It's a problem suit. So please, my masters, there we go. You got yourself a healing mantra for this full moon to new moon next. Now, on one side of the card is the name of the mantra, the other the mantra itself. So I'm going to read the name so that I can look it up in the book, but I'll give you the mantra before I do. All right? Nice deep breath. Overcoming fear. Overcoming fear. I will transcend every loss. I will transcend every loss. Now, this is a waning moon reading, right? Full moon to new moon. So don't be too shocked. That is, there's loss and gain. Laws and gain. Very specific movie reference. Comment in the box if you know what that's from. I'll give you a hint. Mel Brooks, but not how you think it is. Overcoming fear. When is it that we don't have to deal with loss? I will transcend every loss. You know why you can say that as a mantra of truth? Because you do. Right? You've had losses in other lifetimes you have no idea about, right? Not to mention your loss in other lives. Right? We don't remember how many lives. Even people are into reincarnation. I don't think we remember all of them. There are some who say that, yeah, we were trees in the past. Why do we think that we only incarnate only as humans, right? We might have been paramecia, villi and whatnot. I bet I had fabulous villi. Overcoming fear, right? I will transcend every loss. Because you do. Loss makes room for gain. It just does. It's part of the cycles of life. And I guess, as a pagan, the cycles of the moon and the cycles of the sun and the seasons and all of that stuff, you tune yourself to it after a while to be one with nature. Doesn't make it any easier, but at least you can go, okay, at least it's not personal, right? It may feel personal as fuck, but that doesn't mean it is. To everything, turn, turn, turn. I know, some of you are like, great, have that stuck in my head. Hey, there are worse songs you could have stuck in your head. Although I think it's originally from the Bible, isn't it? To everything, turn, turn, turn. Used to make me dizzy as a kid. It would. Nice deep breath. We are going to ask the higher selves of all involved, meaning your higher self, to pick one of these Whispers of Love oracle cards for you to give you a little clue, a little tip, a little hint about what you need. And sometimes this one tells you what you need to do, right? Obviously, revenge is not what you need to do. It's what you need to be aware of. Eight of Pentacles, sort of the same thing. It's like you need to put your head down. The Libra card, like you need to be aware of your one-on-one relationships or your relationship with your shadow selves, right? The Angels, you need a new beginning. The mantra, right? You need to overcome your fear here. So this is going to give you a little bit more, but I find particularly through this deck, the higher selves a bit more direct and a bit more personal. Cool, cool. Nice deep breath. Still point. Oh, the higher selves of all involved, please. One card in clarity for this Taurus collective sun, moon, rising sign. What do they need for this full moon in Leo to this new moon in Pisces, February 2020, please? You've seen what's hit the table, particularly with that overcoming fear and transcending loss deal. Can you give us something, please? Of course you will. Higher selves. It's not that one, it's this one. The higher selves of all involved. I see what you did there. For this full moon to new moon next, Feb 2020. Embrace your emotions. Embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. By the way, if that feeling is one of revenge, that means feel it, embrace it, just don't act on it. Just don't act on it. Don't let it possess you. Look, we all, like I said, have felt revenge. Well, we've all felt the 7 deadly sins. They're part of the human experience, but do we evolve the grace necessary to alchemize that lead into gold? So what's at the core of the revenge? Pain, right? So move through the pain of, move through the vibe of revenge to get to that little child inside that's stamping its feet. It's like, when the fuck is it my turn? Tends to be more the jealousy side of, how could they fucking do that to me? They need to be punished, right? That sense of justice or vengeance, right? It's the whole Batman thing, right? It's very DC Comics. So, yes, allow that child, love that child. That might very well be what this is. Like, you need to think of the vengeful child in your own heart and all of the pain and fire that it has that's actually a great deal of it, blocked passion. Didn't get to express its passion, its power, or had its power taken away and wants to take away somebody's power or voice that way. Yeah, let that baby have its voice, but don't let it run the show. That's how you end up in prison. Just saying. That's how you end up. And you want to talk karma? Love that child to the point where it feels its emotional arc of revenge. It has its tears. It gets to the pain underneath. That's like popping a zit. I hate to be gross like that, but it's an infection in a way. Let it breathe. Let it have air. Air it out. But do not act on it and do no harm. Not saying harm none. Wiccan read. That's whether you're a witch or a Wiccan, who cares? Once you get the quantum field of things, the 5th dimensional unity consciousness of it all, let me do no harm, but keeping this vengeful, angry, whatever it is, instinct, impulse within myself, it will do damage to cell tissue eventually. Go ask Caroline Mace, just saying. Embrace your emotions. Which, speaking of Ms. May, I'll never call her Ms. May, so I'm afraid an alarm will go off and she'll, like, come for me. I love her, but she is a tough cookie. She is really one of my favorite spiritual teachers on planet Earth. Medical, intuitive, spiritual teacher, author, best-selling author of Sacred Contracts, and the creator of this deck, the Caroline Mace Archetype deck, based on Jungian archetypes. Not every archetype that exists there. It would be really hard. It would be a deck this thick. How would I shuffle that? I would need a machine to shuffle that. But what we're going to do with this last one is this will be the voice of the collective pantheons, the angels, the goddesses, the gods, the masters, and the higher selves of all involved will pick one of these cards to show you what archetype you need to be aware of, either in yourself, in another person, or in a situation, so that you can be aware of the alchemy involved from lead to gold. In other words, the toxicity into healing, the shadow into light, which is the words on the card, right? The shadow attribute and the light attribute. Cool, cool. So this will take a minute. Let's do this. Oh, get in your body. And give me a couple of nice deep breaths while I do this one. Particularly because of that revenge card. I'm really calling upon the quantum field here to help. Still point. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one Caroline Mace archetype to indicate for this Taurus collective sun, moon, rising sign what archetype they need to be aware of, what soul power needs to be shifted from shadow to light ever so greatly or ever so slowly, but with the help, guidance, and grace of the divine for this full moon to new moon next, whether it's theirs to heal, to deal with, someone else's, or a situation like something in the air. Please, what is the dominant archetype, the dominant soul power that this Taurus collective sun, moon, rising side needs to look at or be aware of for this full moon to new moon next, February 2020. Last card down. Let's have a look. Oh, the engineer. I like the engineer archetype. I don't have it. So, again, the shadow and the light. The shadow always sucks. The light's always great. You're trying to move that way, right? Even the alchemy, the ascension of it, apply pressure and heat, right? And you will transform it from the shadow to the light. So the shadow side of the engineer archetype. Reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences can be very tribal. Well, this is what we did. This is what we always do, right? Somebody makes a mistake. Well, we can't talk to them anymore because they fucked up. Nope, no healing, no discussion, or what's that other one? We don't talk about that in this family. We don't talk about that. That is a mechanistic, reliance on a mechanistic solution without regard for emotional consequences. Like, that's a brilliant example. We don't talk about that in this family. It's like, whoa, okay, good luck with that. See you in therapy, Ma. Not my mom, we talk. But you kind of get that. Now, in terms of, you might be thinking more literal in terms of relying on a certain mechanical, physical object, but this is really talking about mechanistic solutions. So regardless of whether they are physical or not, they could be psychological, mental, emotional, spiritual. You get what I'm saying, right? The light attribute. Ability to give creative energy a practical expression. Revenge, in a way, is a destructive energy, but it's really just a creative energy with pain involved in it and wants to create havoc, right? So ability to give creative energy a practical expression. That's why people will say, well, take that and go work out, go for a run. Channel it into your writing, your art, your dance, your drumming. Channel it into your healing work is a pretty good idea. Then you think of it as like coal that you throw on a fire, right? I worked with the Ashaya monks many years ago, and they said in camel caravans, you know, across like the Sahara Desert or whatever, they would keep the camel dung and let it dry, and they would throw it on the fires at night. And they go, that's a really good thing of how you take your pain, your suffering, you put it into your consciousness, and it makes your consciousness burn brighter. So sort of like a mechanistic solution symbolically. Talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And I think that engineering part of it, remember, it need not be physical, literal. We've all had to engineer plots and schemes to get ourselves into or out of things. That's just life, you know. I do that more with the strategist archetype, which to me is a different that's the goddess Athena is my strategist, right? The sky goddess looking down like a satellite. This is definitely more Taurus on the ground, having to come up with solutions as they go. So putting this all together, the angels are talking about a new beginning, right? Let's not forget, that's what this reading starts off with. So a new beginning is being engineered, but there's still this relationship, this one-on-one. Now I could feel with this revenge card that there might be a second party here, or even a third party where things are just fucking tricky. There are 3 people, actually, and the picture of this card to bring that in, but still it's the one-on-one relationship that you need to address, even if it's within yourself. Yes, this could absolutely be work-oriented now that I kind of get all the cards on the table, particularly with the card of the engineer right there next to it. It does make sense that this could be something a bit more work, not necessarily romance-oriented. And again, that's going to spread itself out. Like I said before, there are some of this where it's parent and child. And the masters are saying with that, you got to overcome your fear. Like, what do you need to overcome your fear? How? With the mantra, I will transcend every loss, which doesn't mean that's going to make the pain go away. But it's true, we do transcend every loss, at least through death, all right? We kind of leave it all on the dance floor, as it were. And really, I think this last one down, particularly for the engineer archetype, which talks about reliance on mechanical solutions without regard for emotional consequences. The higher self saying, embrace your emotion. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. You have to embrace your emotions, which might be very hard for someone used to a mechanistic solution like, we don't talk about these things, we don't feel those things, we don't have emotion. We learned repress for success. Poof, doesn't fucking work anymore. Have you been watching the news? Yeah. So, there is your What Do I Need reading, my Taurian Collective. Let me give you the blessing. May the Taurus Collective Sun, Moon, Rising be blessed with everything they need this full moon to new moon next, to overcome fear with the engineer archetype, to embrace the emotions, to get to work, to deal with the revenge aspect from them or from another by coming into balance with their own interior relationships as well as their one-on-ones, so that this new beginning can manifest fully into form for them, for the well-being of all. And so it is. Thou art blessed. And thou art blessed. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Go check out my description box. And as ever, my earth sign brothers and sisters, wishing you the very best and the very blessed, as I say, hail, farewell, and blessed be.